living legend of hair loss is back in a big way. We're here to communicate, to conversate, to become enlightened in the topic, the subject of hair loss. So, what better way to do that than to check out a recent comment I received on my channel here. I made a video recently called "When Male Actors' Hair Loss is Made to Look Worse for a Movie Role." Our friend Bioxin Bricks Gamer, 2 hours ago in my real time, asked this question, or left this comment, quote, "Unrelated, but I'm growing my hair and I might buzz it because it sucks to get in your face all the time. Unrelated, but my thought," end quote. Well, you know what I had to say is, nothing's unrelated. I can make a video about anything. Not all of my videos on this channel are about hair loss, but they tend to be the most popular, the most engaging. Even if it does not seem that extravagant of a thought, often people in the hair loss community can relate to it. And when I say hair loss community, I want to be very clear, in case you're new here. People will look at me and think, man, this guy's almost 40 years old. He doesn't really seem to be losing his hair that severely. Well, see, that's the thing though. To be in the hair loss community, all you have to do is show up. You don't have to say, hey, I'm losing my hair. You could say, hey, I'm 30 years old and I'm not losing any hair, but I'm afraid that I will because my dad went bald young, and by the time he was 35, he was noticeably losing hair, and I'm 30, I'm 5 years away, will I be okay? That sort of thing. Well, that automatically puts you in the hair loss community because you are showing up to our meetings here. You are watching the videos and participating. So you don't have to be balding to actually be part of the community. All you have to do is show up. So with that being said, and here you are, you showed up, you're part of the community. All right, so looking back at this comment, he's talking about how when you grow your hair longer, it's going to get in your face, get in your eyes. And he's saying he might just go ahead and buzz it off. So here's what I'm gonna say to that. Yeah, just do it, just buzz it off. You know, it's funny because I feel like there's this concept that there's an obligation to have hair because you have hair. And I myself fall into that a little bit. In my heart, all I want to do is just keep it shaved off at a zero guard buzz cut. And when I feel like it, I do that. I think ultimately though, for me, here's the problem with doing a buzz cut. I know that after I shave it off, it'll take, 3 or 4 months to go back and look decent again because I do have diffuse thinning, and it's gonna look pretty awful. It's gonna look like a chicken's butt as it's growing out. It's not gonna look nice. I don't know why. I should have said like a shaved gopher. That might be a better analogy. It doesn't look good when it's growing out. It looks good shaved off. It looks fine when I have some kind of generic basic hairstyle like now, but ultimately it looks really bad during those months it's growing out. Anything from basically like a number 3 guard and beyond, it's not gonna look good again until it's at least about 2 inches on top, which is right now I think about 2.5. So yeah, it's really annoying to grow out your hair. And no matter what your hairline is like, even if it is straight across, the point is, once it starts getting longer, then you're gonna have to basically be styling it. Otherwise, you're gonna look like one of those like 13-year-old boys, man, seriously. And here's what, how they have like the long bangs and like they swoop down and then like, I mean, it's so lame. You never wanna be one of those kids. So it's like, nothing wrong with long hair as long as you have it under control. You don't want to have to constantly be doing this or like this, that's not cool. So yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to say is, if your hair's already getting on your nerves, either find a new way to style them. You might even decide, hey, I might get a blow dryer and some pomade and kind of push it back like that or something like that. You can experiment with that maybe first if it's getting that long. But if not, man, if you feel more comfortable just shaving it off or just having it shorter, do it. That's the thing. You have to do what's practical for you. You have to find that hairstyle that's working for you and working for you now, because as a man, you won't necessarily always have that option. I'm now limited in the kinds of hairstyles I can have compared to when I was a teenager. But at the same time, I can still kind of experiment with other ones. But I think it's important that you find that default hairstyle that's always going to work for you at least for right now, you can have several default hairstyles kind of ready. Like, have you seen the new Spider-Man movie, Far From Home? He had like 7 different Spider-Man, suits that he could choose from. It's kind of like that. You want to imagine which hairstyles that really work for you. Not specifically just that they look good on you, but that you feel good in. That feels like, okay, this suits me, and it works for what I'm doing. What's practical, what really is an extension of your identity, which is one of the reasons I love buzzing my hair off, because for me that's a true extension of my identity. I do plan to shave off my hair again probably this fall sometime when the time feels right. I do plan to do that. It's been about a little over a year and a half, and that's about how long my internal clock is like, okay, you shave it off again. So, for me, that's the best extension of my identity. Maybe the second best is just a very basic hairstyle like this. The sideburns are very important to me. I've always had long sideburns. That's definitely a part of my identity. You want to find out what hairstyle is truly an extension of my identity. And maybe it's having no hair. Maybe it is shaving it off. And then even if you can still grow hair, then you can think, okay, but when I do have hair, I'll have this hairstyle. You can change it up while you still can. And then eventually, I think it's very important to embrace this, that eventually at some point, you may need to be ready to make shaving your head the default and make that, you become one with that identity. You have peace in that. So yeah, but if it's getting on your nerves, absolutely shave it off. If you enjoy that hairstyle, totally do it. Totally do it. Now, it is true that when you're in my situation, when I will be shaving my hair off, I'm going to have to, for like 2 weeks straight, be explaining to coworkers and people. They'll say, why'd you shave your hair off? You still had hair, didn't you? And then they'll look at a picture on my cubicle wall. Yeah, see, you still have, why'd you do that? And then I'll say, because I felt like it and I love it. And this is, for me, the best avatar for how I feel inside. But after 2 weeks, then they'll be like, wow, actually, you're really rocking that shaved head. Not everybody can pull that off, but you can. And what's funny is, the truth is, how do you pull off a shaved head? You do it. You just shave the head, and therefore, you've done it. Because so many men live in fear. Nick Shell doesn't live in fear. He's the living legend of hair loss. I don't live in fear. But many men do. They worry. Oh, I could never shave my head. I don't have the right head for it. I don't have the right personality for it. People will think it's weird. But see, so much of my identity is based on doing things differently and not fearing for it. This concept of peer pressure, I've never been able to relate to that. Oh, I hope they like me. I hope I fit in. It's more like, I'm going to do what I want to do because this is who I am, and they can do whatever they want to do. But ultimately, I'm not worried about what other people think. And I finally got to the point too, I'd say in these last recent years, I don't even care what I think. I know that sounds crazy, but you get to the point where you can tell a lot about a person, especially by a man, by knowing what bothers them. Well, imagine this. Not only am I not worried about fitting in or whatever, maybe I don't want to have to deal with annoying questions. Well, why'd you shave your head? That's probably it. For me in time management, I'm like, I don't have to answer this question over and over and explain that I like shaving my head. But not only do I not have to worry about peer pressure, but and thinking, what would they think as a human being in general? But I also am now at the point where, like, so I don't worry about what do they think. I also think, I don't worry about what I think. Let me say that out loud. I don't worry about what I think. It's time management. It's time, just like I have so many people who will watch these videos regularly and tell me I'm, full of what, but then they just keep coming back and watching these videos. That's a reflection of their time management. It's the same for our own time management skills. If we spend time worrying about things and questioning things that don't really matter in the end. And so once you come to peace with that, you get to become more like Nick Shell, the living legend of hair loss, who is able to say, you know what? I don't care. I don't care what they're going to say. And really, I don't even have an opinion about all these other things. I can enjoy my life more now. And for the person who left the comment, they can enjoy their life more now by just, if they want to commit to shaving their hair off for the rest of their life, they can. It's all about that extension of your identity. And I say to you, I truly, I say to you, that the sooner you can become at peace with shaving off your hair, and I'm not meaning that you have to keep it that way, but the moment you do that for the first time, and I would recommend actually a zero guard. I mean, go all the way. Once you do that, it changes you for the better. You'll be able to plug into the mentality of Nick Shell, the living legend of hair loss. Your comments, your thoughts, your beliefs, your perspective on the world belongs right here in the comment section.